I call it my biggest level of success, or my biggest level of failure, pardon me, which is success without fulfillment. And it ended up being the disease that almost killed me.
Let me reframe what he just said. Any success without fulfillment is unlimited failure. That's it.
This is how the Lord works, right? Is before you're able to transform anyone, you have to transform yourself. When you really start to understand the body, the vehicle, the vessel that God's created for you, there is a reverence. And I'm talking a true reverence, a true love for this thing. Once you're distracted, you can become disconnected. Disconnected from your body, disconnected from God, disconnected from your spouse, disconnected from family, disconnected from being present in the moment. The moment you become disconnected, you become divided. And so many of us are wanting to have an impact and change the world, but we're unwilling to change our backyard first.
You just told me that you have a blood test taken.
Yeah.
At the same time, same minute, and you sent to 3 different labs, and it was 3 different tests. Dude, you gotta walk me through this.
Yeah.
Everybody's telling me, Jarek, you stress. Dude, I'm not stressed. I don't work. I have nothing else going on in my life. Why you keep telling me I'm stressed? I'm not, but I am.
Even though you may not believe in God, you have a heart and you have a soul. And when something is of the truth, your body knows the truth.
Welcome to Mastering the Inner World and Outer World podcast. Today I have a Justin Roethlingshoefer.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. There you
Perfect.
go. Okay. Hey guys, today we're gonna have an amazing podcast because me and Justin, I think we have the same beliefs and values. We already started talking a little bit about emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental health. And that's what we're gonna talk about. Justin, can you go ahead, introduce yourself, tell everybody what you do, and guys, you gotta stay put. Just listen, and we're gonna go deep. Today we're gonna go deep. I just met him, and immediately we connected. So there's something we don't know yet what, but something's coming up.
I love it. No, it's been so great, and I just appreciate you. I think there's something really cool when you come into somebody's home. There's a lot of people who have podcast studios, and you go to their studio, and it's staged, it's set up, and you do the podcast, you see them, you're in their energy space, and connecting with them as a person, but then you leave. When you come into somebody's home, you start to really understand the essence of them. And when you bring somebody into your home, you're bringing somebody into your sanctuary, into a place of a safety. And I just want to honor you for that, because coming in here, I just feel like I've gotten to connect with you on a deeper level, simply because I know what this space means to you, and opening it up has just been so amazing. And so I just thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But no, yeah, I've loved the body. I've had an infatuation with it since as long as I could remember. That my earliest memory is I was 8 years old, and I just heard from the Lord that I was going to be a part of the redemption story of the health of America. I didn't know what that meant, didn't know what that was all about. All I know is that I said yes. And that entire journey over the course of the last 30 years has been in pursuit of that. I've had to walk through a lot of dark valleys. I was an obese kid. I was always teased, made fun of. I became an anorexic teenager, had liver and kidney failure at 16, 17 years old. That experience brought me to a space of wanting to answer the question, not just for me, but for everybody else, is not how do you treat something, but rather why is it happening? Can we really understand and have reverence for the body in which we sit in? Because I've seen it go from the depths of hell to liver and kidney failure to thriving. And I've seen the body be able to heal, but we have to put it in the right environment. And so that brought me down to the States on a hockey scholarship, and just pursuing knowledge and wisdom about the body. And so a couple undergraduate degrees, master's degree, did my postgraduate work in sleep and heart rate variability, and dove into the functional medicine space, and dove into massage therapy, and all of these non-traditional modalities of how do we actually steward and manage health well. And it ended up finding me in the National Hockey League as a strength and conditioning coach and director of health and performance. And it was amazing to see my craft honed in this high pressure, high stakes environment. And as I continued to step into that, it was about my 9th year that I was finding a lot of success. Had the job, the title, was in the best league in the world, was working with a lot of great athletes, was writing books, was on stages, was speaking. Theoretically, by everybody else's frame of reference, you've made it, right? And I'm sure a lot of you listening to this are in this same situation where you feel like you've made it. Everybody, the world tells you you've made it. But I call it my biggest level of success, or my biggest level of failure, pardon me, which is success without fulfillment. And it ended up being the disease that almost killed me, because I still remember viscerally when I was 31 years old. It was like I woke up and I was fit. I was well. I was competing in CrossFit, had just won the High Rocks Games, had just done a photo shoot for Men's Health, like was really fit and well. But every day I felt like I was dying inside. I'd wake up and I was exhausted. I had back pain. I had headaches that wouldn't go away. I'd bloat anytime I ate anything. I would walk into...
I think this is going to go a lot deeper than I expected. Dude, right now you're telling my journey.
Yeah.
And it's funny that when you talk about it, now when you're telling me that,
yeah,
I got all the symptoms, but I never realized those are the symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, like, dude, like you really tell me how I got to the suicide.
Yeah.
And this is like those the steps.
Yeah. And the crazy part about this was, I'd walk into a room. I'd forget the whole reason why I went into that room. And the guy that used to be mentally sharp, the guy that used to be quick, suddenly started putting on a mask and starting to perform, not actually feeling connected to what was there. And I still remember had just played Chicago. I was laying down in bed, and I was literally ready to be like, Lord, if it's my time to go, just take me, because I can't deal with this anymore. And it was 5 seconds later, I just had this visceral reaction inside my body that, and heard this voice say, like, why don't you start doing the same things for your athletes? Or why don't you start doing the same thing for yourself that you're doing for your athletes? And that was to look at data, to start understanding the body, to start operating in the same rhythms and processes that you do for them, for you. And long story short, by doing that, we started to find that I had a bleeding precancerous ulcer in my stomach, had 4 precancerous polyps in my colon. Was told I wouldn't see 35, and over the course of getting hyper-personalized, healing mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, changing my systems, changing my rhythms, reprioritizing how I aligned my life, was able to heal. And this is where I come back to now with our company Own It, is we work with tip of the spear people who are changing the world, people who are out there doing the thing, business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, because tip of the spear people get dull when they're doing the thing. And we help keep them sharp by aligning mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health in a very personalized way, using data to help drive accountability and create relationship. Not just a test and here's a supplement, not just, oh, here's a wearable and here's some habits. No. Let's build a relationship with you and our team so that we can help take you on a journey to heal you inside so that you can have a different outside experience.
Guys, let me reframe what he just said. Any success without fulfillment is unlimited failure. That's it. He said it like he got everything. And the second thing, and this is what every successful person goes through this shit. We serve everybody, not ourselves.
Yeah.
We got I'm getting goosebumps. We got every title, we got every wins by the rules of society, but not by ourselves.
Yep.
That's it.
100%. And there's
and we got the third one you said, I just want to reframe it.
Go for it.
You got everything within.
Yeah.
That's it. It's what the hell? And then what? Like how, so let's say, what now?
So I think the cool part about this journey for me was, and this is how the Lord works, right? Is before you're able to transform anyone, you have to transform yourself. And who you once were is
I love you, brother.
Thank you. I love you too.
Guys, like, what the hell?
Who you once were.
Guys, I wish you guys feel the energy in this room right now. Like, I wish. I really
it's
want
thick.
you guys
It's
to
thick in
feel
here.
this. It's like
It's thick in here.
Oh my God.
Who you once were is the person you're best equipped to help. Who you once were is the person who were best equipped to help. And so who I was the striver. I was the performer. I was the person who continued to try to prove my worth in my work, and in my identity was tied up in winning, was tied up in performance, was tied up in quite frankly, tied up in service. And if I got really vulnerable over the course of my time, what I really had to come to grips with was my deepest fear was not being impressive. And if I wasn't impressive, I would be nothing. And if I was nothing, my soul would die. And that was literally my thought process. And so every room I went in, I had to posture myself. I had to perform. I had to be the first one to the rink and the last one to leave. I had to be the one that was working the hardest. I had to be the person that was making myself seem bigger than I was. And your body keeps the score. Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional stress, your body does not know the difference. And so through my actions, through my behaviors, through the rhythms that I was operating in, was making myself ill, was making myself unwell. And a part of my transformational journey and just my walk with Jesus and just his grace upon my life was to say, hey, you know what? If I can take this and heal this, I can use this. And he transformed that thought process. And he said, if you can be nothing, I can make it something, and that will be impressive. And so there's a full surrender to Christ in being able to say, yeah, I'm nothing, but use me so you can make it impressive, so you can make it something, and that will be impressive. And so my nothingness, my being willing, able just to be shaped, to be molded, has ultimately turned out to be a business, a company that's helping thousands of tip of the spear people heal from the inside out so that they can now live a life that's different and have massive level of impact, massive scale of impact. And it's just been beautiful to watch. Thousands and thousands of people come through our ecosystem, a team of 50 world-class experts that I couldn't handpick a better team. And you just start to see how the Lord has gifted this and blessed it and anointed it as I've just walked in this nothingness and this sense of obedience.
It's funny how we open up, we become vulnerable, and we surrender, surrender to God. Like everything, the abundance comes.
Yeah.
And all the doors open, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
This is suddenly you don't have to chase anymore. You're being pulled towards the light, and you're like, what the hell? It's like, you know what I mean?
The crazy thing is what you just said something is everything I was chasing after, the notoriety, the influence, the impact, the success, the financial freedom, everything I was chasing after, the moment I surrendered, the moment I let it go, the moment I was willing to be nothing, everything stopped, turned around, and started chasing after me. And I love to give that analogy because it's the blessing that sits on the other side of obedience. And when we think about our bodies and the language, when you really start to understand the body, the vehicle, the vessel that God's created for you, there is a reverence. And I'm talking a true reverence, a true love for this thing. I wake up in the morning, and the fact that my heart beats, the fact that my eyes work, the fact that my legs work, the fact that I can have a stimulus input go through my nervous system, go through my brain, come back out through some type of movement or some type of verbal process or some type of action is just incredible. The fact that I can go and take in food, digest it, produce energy is incredible. So if I have reverence for the magnitude of what this machine is doing, all of a sudden I change the way I sleep, I change the way I eat, I change the way I hydrate, I change the way I train, change the way I manage stress, I change the way in which I regulate myself, and now that becomes a high degree of intention for me. And so when I think about this, the enemy knows that the Holy Spirit dwells within our body and that this tool, this vehicle, is the only thing we have in order to execute the calling that's on everybody's life. Because there's a calling of excellence on everybody's life. There's a great call, but whether we answer that is up to you. And so the enemy knows that. And so if he can get to this, if he can destroy this, that he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, that's it, the three things. And so the first thing he's going to do, it's a 7-step system. It's really easy once you start to see it. For any person, the enemy's going to distract you. He's going to distract you with things that seem important in the moment, A good opportunity, not a God opportunity. He's going to distract you, because once he distracts you, he can disconnect you.
Those are a little bit bribes. Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? It's like a here.
100%.
Here's a bite. Here's a bite. Have a taste of it. So you don't wait. You don't wait the long and fulfilling life. You just have, like, if I give you now,
Yep.
it's a quick dopamine. People want a quick dopamine. It's the best. I have the dopamine for the, like, I want to live another 170 years
Yeah.
at least. So I want to have the dopamine going and flowing slowly.
Yeah.
Not the one hits, not the one scroll,
Yep.
not the one, drink, not the one shot, not the one line, not the one.
Well, I can
pill.
even say your story this morning. Like, you are out on the water connected.
Yep.
You come in, and now all of the distractions get thrown towards you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't go and connect before it and become aware to this, the distractions actually start
Poison my body.
and it starts to disconnect you. So once you're distracted, you can become disconnected from your body, disconnected from God, disconnected
Yes.
from your spouse, disconnected from family, disconnected from being present in the moment. The moment you become disconnected, you become divided. There's a division between you and God. There's a division between your public self and your private self. There's a division between the entrepreneur of you and the family man of you, when actually they were all meant to be connected. So the division leads to discouragement. You're like, man, why can't I figure this out? Man, this is so frustrating. Man, maybe I just have to work harder, which ultimately leads to depletion, because, well, I guess I have to stay up later. I have to send more emails. I have to work harder. I have to wake up earlier. I have to just do more work. I have to give more effort. And that depletion leads to disqualification, because you're like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And you start to disqualify yourself. You're like, I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not intelligent enough, which ultimately leads to the destruction of the calling that's on your life.
You write the book, Not Enoughness.
That's right.
That's you just went step by step what I was going through.
Yeah, because I've seen it in, at this point, hundreds of thousands of people.
Well,
having spoken.
let's start with number one: lack of connection. Because that's what it is. You cannot. If you lose the connection with yourself, it's over.
That's it. I would even say there's a deeper step. Is connection with self comes after connection with God. Mm-hmm. Because the moment, and I think this is why a lot of the self-help work is only temporary for so many people. Like, you go to the Tony Robbins sections.
Let me challenge that. So, because when I'm in connection with myself, so I'm talking subconscious mind and conscious mind.
Sure.
Of course, God is number one. It's, to me, everybody can judge whatever.
Sure.
To me, God is number one.
Yep.
I'm number two. But in order to find connection with God, I have to find connection with myself. For me, this was the order. But I got the voice when I was the wake-up call. It was God talking through me at that time.
Yeah.
I thought it was my inner voice. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, if you're going through this, you have everything, and
Yeah.
you want to take your own life, like, you have absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to share the story.
Yeah.
But through me, maybe what was the wrong order. So
I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think this is where, even when we start talking about
connection,
God
let's
and
start with
Jesus
connection,
and all
like,
these
yeah,
things.
God, yeah.
When we start talking about these things, I think this is where there's so much anger and separation, because if you can actually, and division even within people when they start talking about this stuff, because there's
we are
no
divided. We're oneness. I think I did the one real. Like, we are oneness. We are divided by men, women, by color, by
Yeah.
social status, financial status. You know how many titles we have? Like, shut the up. We're
Yeah.
oneness. Like, we have a one soul.
yeah.
And then I really thought, it's like, but we need to connect so we can connect with somebody, other human beings.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong. What I think is there's a journey, and when I'm speaking about this, we all end up in the same place once we find the same degree of connection. Now, how long you resist the journey to understanding that once you connect with God first, then He can tell you who you are. It's one of the most important questions that we have to figure out: is who does God say you are? You're a son. You're chosen. You're His beloved. You're royalty. You're anointed. And through that,
You know how many people cannot answer the question?
a lot of people, because there's the disconnection.
I mean, you're like, who are you?
Yeah.
And people think like that, and really, like, I still struggle with the, like, because it's like you said. I love what you said. It is a journey.
Yeah.
To find out who you are, because who I am, it might be different now. It might be different 5 years from now.
It's a constant iteration.
Right. And then the second one, it's a journey. Is that to figure out who the you are.
Yeah.
And that's the journey. And so there's no destination.
So can I even add to that? Mm-hmm. Because I think when people when people think who you are, in today's day and age, what question do they actually think about when you ask them who they are?
What happened is they're giving me titles. I'm the father. I'm the entrepreneur. I'm like I'm getting goosebumps because this is like I'm really like right now getting goosebumps. It's they're giving me titles. I never Justin. I'm not seriously. I never get the answer.
So here's the crazy thing: when people ask you who you are, they always answer with what they do, and thus their identity is laced in what they do, not who God told them they are, because they've never connected with it. And because they don't have the
Mine is easy.
and that is a great start to be able to understand, because when we come back to it, child of God, we're all children of God.
Yeah.
And I think what happens when we think, oh, I'm a son, I'm a child of God, I'm chosen, I'm a beloved, I'm here to serve, I'm a servant leader. That's what we're all called to. And he told everyone to do this. But he actually has a word just for you. There's something that he said, he breathed life into you. He said, Jarek, you'll do this. This is who you are. And when I look at you, and even just like the essence, and having been around you for, gosh, I don't know, what is it, 25 minutes
25
now,
minutes, yeah.
is as I sit here, you're a generational shifter. You're called to shift generations. And the way that you shift generations, and whether you accept that and wear that or not, we can explore more of that, what that looks like. You're now going to actually behave differently, because you'll behave differently as a father. Your habits and behaviors throughout your day will be that of what a generational shifter does. What does a generational shifter do? Generational shifter probably prioritizes sleep so he can be energized. A generational
94
shifter.
94 today.
Yeah, there you
94.
go. There you
94
go.
today.
A generational shifter probably brings people into his community and teaches them how to steward their body, how to eat, how to train, how to does this within his family. Mm-hmm. And so many of us are wanting to have an impact and change the world, but we're unwilling to change our backyard first.
Yeah.
And it's only when we know who we are that we can then determine what we do, which will then, God will show us the path of how to do it, which will then determine the why we exist. And the world tells us, no, you have to figure out why you exist first. What's your why? We hear it all the time. Simon Sinek, what's your why?
But it's not easy to find your why.
But that's what I'm saying, is the world tells us tells us to do that.
It took me 46, 48 years until I almost committed suicide. I didn't know. I have a daughter, and it was 12 years old. She knew who she wants to be. I'm like, you are so fortunate that you know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. I'm 46, 44 years old man. I have no idea that you're doing it. No, I'm like the real estate, all the shit. I have 4 money. I'm the father because I have 4 kids. You know, do you know what I mean? I didn't know. I was the guy looking for purpose. So I was living this abundant life, being empty inside, because completely empty.
Because you're trying to fill a hole.
Medals, titles, money, successes, more real estate, more employees, more empty.
Trying to fill a hole that only God can fill.
Yeah. And now stillness is the best shit for me. Being with myself is the best shit for me. Praying to God is the best shit for me. It's just being love, being abundance, being like completely, I have all this energy. Doesn't matter what time I wake up, if I have an hour of sleep or 10 hours of sleep. I have energy all the time.
So I've got an acronym for this. And it's all built on scriptural principles. And so when we talk about you taste stillness, right? And so it's called couple different phrases. So slow is smooth, but smooth is fast.
Mm-hmm.
As we go slower, the deeper we get, the faster he'll move. So by consequence, moving slowly is actually fast in a paradoxical world of Christ. Slow is an acronym. Stillness, silence, and surrender gives us the chance to listen. So we have the opportunity
Because
to
God
be
whispered.
obedient,
Yep.
and the obedience will give us wisdom for what to do next.
Amen.
And so we live in a world that's fast, that's chaotic, that tells you need more, tells you need to do the bigger thing, which, going back to my story and your story and everybody's story on the destruction of their health, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, is we need to start to slow down, because the faster we move, the decay happens internally. For me, it was depression, it was precancerous ulcers, it was precancerous
All of it.
polyps, it
All
was
of it.
everything, all the symptoms that I listed that you were feeling as
We're
well.
putting all this toxins, all this outside energy, negative energy, all these toxins in ourselves. That's what happens. But I want to use the slowness now from now on, because I was always using like more is less.
Yeah.
And it's really even like slower is faster. I know slower is faster.
Yeah.
But I always was telling everybody, I love chaos. You know how you go before vacation, like you entrepreneur, like, holy shit, I crushed it today. Like, you do those 1,000 things because you're living tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I love this stuff. But out of the 1,000 things, I screw up 1,000.
Tell
When
me-
now I go slow down, this is like the best of the best idea, that's when I get creative. That's when really it's slower, it's faster.
Yeah.
Less is more. But it's hard to explain it, because like you said, our society wants us to do all of it, and us giving more tools. So even with money, it gives you more time. But here what happens is, money gives you time. It doesn't give you happiness. But what do you do with the time?
Yeah, for sure.
This is what do you do with the time? Now you go drinking, you go out, you start partying, you start surround yourself with the wrong people, you never alone, you start flying, you start, I don't know.
I love what you're saying, because you're literally just proving the example point of what we just said. Because sure, you get more money, but you said a question is, what do you do with the time?
Exactly.
You don't know what you do with the time until you know who you are.
Exactly.
But if you know who you are, you know exactly what to do with the time, because you'll know what that person does. That person is donating here. That person is stepping in here, because you are so deeply connected with God and who he's called you to be. And once you know that, you can start to heal. And the crazy part, and this is where we bring in a lot of the data and the technology to what we do, alongside of a lot of the coaching components, is this is where it gets kind of fun and sexy and really attached from the theological process and the scriptural and biblical processes to the very tangible and tactical. So we've been given a language of our body. That language of our body is heart rate variability. HRV, you measure it through your Oura ring. And when you look at HRV measures the time difference between successive intervals between each beat. Well, the more variation, the higher the variability. Thus, it means the habits, the behaviors, the rhythms, and the systems in your life are working really well for how your body's needing to function. And there's numbers correlated to certain ages that give us a biological age that is higher or lower of that of our chronological age. So we now know truth based on what our body's communicating as to whether the habits, behaviors, and rhythms in our life are working positively for us to actually engage in longevity and engage in thriving, or it's putting us in a space of chaos and it's decaying internally, and we're slowly dying over the course of the habits and behaviors and rhythms that we've chosen to operate within.
Because our body cannot operate on the max level if you stress, if you don't sleep, if you don't rest, if you stress, if you're constantly under pressure. It doesn't matter how well you feed your body, you're always gonna, like, at least with me,
Yeah.
I was always behind, but I never felt that I am. It's just, I thought I'm getting older.
So and this is why I love data, because you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, this is just me getting older. This is just what being an entrepreneur must feel like. This is what just leading a team must feel like. This is what my new normal is.
And I validate the story in my head, and because my identity, and I believe in it.
Right.
Because I'm the only one spending the time with my own thoughts.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then what happened is I drink the own Kool-Aid that I created,
Yeah.
that my inner world created, and then while my outer world is like going not the direction I want to go.
Yeah.
I was like I know we on different subject, but we so far on connection. You're gonna go through all 7. I really want to go. There's you just told me that you have a blood test taken
Yeah.
at the same time, same minute, and you sent to 3 different labs, and it was 3 different tests. Dude, you gotta walk me through this.
Yeah. So I'll jump to there in one second. So because I'll finish on this point of when we talked about you feeling like, man, this is just what it feels like. If we looked at HRV during
Because
that time,
I was taking the test. So I was running all the tests and I couldn't figure it out. Everybody's telling me, Jarek, you stress. Dude, I'm not stressed. I don't work. I have nothing else going on in my life. Why you keep telling me I'm stressed? I'm not. But I am. I was. I didn't even know about it.
and that's why heart rate variability is the single most important metric that we need to know, understand, and run our body off of, because mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, real, perceived, positive, negative, future, past, present stress, body doesn't know the difference. And thus, what is going on behind the scenes? I'm not talking stress of like pulling your hair out trying to get your kids to school. I'm not talking about trying to make your P&L work. I'm talking about the cost of doing business every single day, waking up, because your body has to start to make your body function. Your body has to make your body function. Let that statement sink in for a second. Your body has to move nutrients through the body. Your body has to move oxygen through the body. Your body has to detoxify. There is a cost to doing business in your body. And it's things that we take for granted. Heart rate variability is that language that your body's communicating, whether it is working well and thriving through the habits and behaviors and rhythms you have, or it's feeling unsafe and it's in chaos and thus slowly decaying. And so these are the things that we have to know. HRV is the number one metric that we have to understand. The second one, which we'll come into here, is cellular deficiencies. And this is where we get into the blood testing we talked about. And so everybody knows that, I need to get my blood testing done. I need to look. I need to look at these numbers. And when you see this, there's so much noise in the space now. I don't know what test I should do. Should I do the function test? Should I do the 10x health test? Should I do the inside tracker test? Is there a different one? Should I go through my functional doc? Should I go through just my normal doc? What are the testings? What are they different? Should I just look at hormones and go for the peptides? Like, what does this mean? Should I just go on TRT and this is what I should do? The core component, there's a triangle. At the tip of the spear, the top of the pyramid, are all hormones. Progesterone, testosterone, estrogen, cortisol, melatonin. When you think about those, we have to understand that all of these hormones do something in the body. They don't create anything. If you need better sleep, you're not deficient in melatonin. If you need more energy, you're not deficient in testosterone. Your body creates it. But when we think about in the base of that pyramid, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, they're responsible for everything in the body. 100% of all processes. They don't do anything in the body by themselves. They create everything. So when you have a testosterone deficiency, you actually have an underlying vitamin, mineral, and amino acid deficiency. When you have a sleep issue, it a lot of times comes to a vitamin, mineral, and amino acid deficiency. And so the 3 blood tests that I took, you see this all the time. There's these, it's called Rhythm. It's an at-home kind of poke it in your arm, twist it, and you don't need a phlebotomist. Another was a finger prick blood draw. And then the other was a phlebotomist blood draw where they actually pull it from your vein. I had this one done, and this one done all at the same time by the same phlebotomist in the same place, same exact moment. The results from all 3 tests were different. And when there's a gold standard of what's coming from your vein, it tells me that these other 2 are inaccurate, but they're more affordable, they're more convenient, and they're being marketed as something that you can be preventative and proactive in your health, when in actuality, they're not. And so when you look at this concept of the noise that's going on in the health and wellness industry, it's only causing more confusion, and confusion leads to chaos, and chaos leads to destruction. So confusion, and ultimately what we're seeing in the health and wellness industry, is a demonic oppression. It is from something that is not from God, because from God is clarity. And what we say? Clarity is kindness. And so what you have to know and what you have to understand is that your vitamins, minerals, and amino acids are the core component of everything that you need in order to function at a cellular level. Cellular health is what is most critical for any human being to function at a high level. If we can optimize for vitamin, mineral, and amino acid deficiencies, we can optimize for testosterone production, we can optimize for cortisol production, we can optimize for melatonin production, we can optimize for estrogen and progesterone production. We have seen miracles. We have seen people get off testosterone and feel better than they ever have before. We have perimenopausal women who have all of a sudden had their symptoms completely taken off and completely changed. We've had men who had no energy, couldn't put on any muscle mass, felt like they couldn't gain positive weight, couldn't lose weight that they were needing. Their doctors say, oh, you're low in testosterone. Here's some TRT. All of a sudden, they don't feel as well as they could. And then we get them off and we optimize for vitamin, mineral, amino acid deficiencies, change habits and behaviors, create new rhythms in their life. HRV responds and improves. Vitamin, mineral, amino acid deficiencies decrease, and lo and behold, they thrive. Why? Because we've put the body back in the degree in which it was designed, because it was designed to heal and designed to thrive, but we have to put ourselves in different environments and do it based on the language of the body, not based off what the world tells us.
How do we get the energy? Because like right now I have to me, the most important is like, I want to live another 70 years.
Sure.
But I want to have the energy I have right now. I have more energy than I ever have 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So how do we maximize our energy? So we talk about through connection, through stuff, through, testing and figure out what is your body. What else?
So first off is connection. You have to have the connection to God and who He says you
stop
are.
On that. You said there's 7, so I'm not gonna. Now I'm not gonna stop you because we're gonna be here 3 hours.
Did Joe Rogan it?
There you go. Yeah. Dude, how long are his podcasts?
Oh man. Yeah, they turn into marathons.
Dude.
Yeah.
But he's a genius though. I love dude. I like his stuff is amazing.
It's pretty wild. You need they need to bring like a meal on while they're having it in there. Like we're going from we're skipping lunch or something.
Yeah.
But through connection. Mm-hmm. Once we have connection, then we can start looking at testing. And once we are understanding where we're at, the language of our body, 4 things, like I said, heart rate variability is number 1. Cellular deficiencies is number 2. VO2 max is number 3. VO2 max is the way in which our body utilizes oxygen. This is not a metric that Olympians only need to know and athletes need to know. No, it's a messaging sequence that our body's communicating how well it's using oxygen. And oxygen is critical for the ability for the body to thrive. Where oxygen is present, disease is absent. And so when you're oxygenated, you feel better. It's why hyperbaric oxygen chambers are so important. It's why VO2 max testing through Peter Attia and all of his research that he's talked about is so important. Yeah. And so people don't know what VO2 max is, and thus, even if they do know what VO2 max is, they don't know what to do with it.
But VO2 max is like, I think I only done those testing when I was racing.
Right.
When I stopped racing, I stopped doing them.
But it's a critical component because otherwise, now the training you're doing, there's no intentionality behind it because you're now just going and lifting weights or just going and running.
He said the intentional word like already like 7 times. I'm just like being intentional about anything you do in life.
100%.
Like being intentional, it's everything. And I love it. Like you said the word like so many times already. I just want to emphasize on that because it's being intentional. It's like even getting up in the morning, taking the poop. Make it intentional. I'm not joking, but just be intentional about everything you do.
I've got an equation at the very end. Remind me to tell you the equation of intentionality.
Okay.
At the very end. And then the fourth thing, that we need to look at from a data standpoint that's critical is how the body detoxifies. And detoxification is shown in a data-driven component by sleep quality because there's a process, 4 steep stages, slow wave, REM sleep, wake cycle, light sleep cycle. Slow wave and REM sleep are the only times that something called the glymphatic system is active in the brain, which is a cleansing mechanism that takes all the toxins out, throws it into the lymph nodes for where we can start to detoxify and excrete it. And if we are not, you kind of mentioned it, it's funny, but if we don't have a sweat, an intentional breathing pattern, stool, and urine before 1 hour after waking, we're not actually detoxifying and we're just recycling. And there's a recycling of toxins within the body. And so sleep quality is the one that is so critical to how this functions in our body. And so if VO2 max is high, if cellular deficiencies are low, if sleep quality is high, VO2 max is high, cellular deficiencies is low, all three of these, HRV has to be high. It's by default because it's a system, it's a mechanism, it's how your body functions. And so that is how we operate to get hyper-personalized, hyper-proactive, and maintaining health for a long period of time. And then we just don't send you a program. No. This is where the big thing comes in, is you have to have community, and community of like-minded people pulling you along that hold you accountable and go on a journey with you. Because it's not enough for me just to give you a plan and say, oh, okay, here you go. Because as soon as you go into the real world throws chaos back at you. So how do you adapt? How do you have a system and a process that helps you actually do these things? And that's why
I think you need a tribe. It's accountability. You need a tribe. You need a
For sure.
brotherhood, sisterhood. You need somebody that you have the same vision and the same mission. And then you just talk, hey, dude, even we talk about sleep, we talk about anything. It's just, it's nice to have hey, I have this helps me, this helps me. You have a lot more deeper conversation about stuff that is important.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I always tell people, like when I was doing Ironman, everyone was doing Ironman. Mm-hmm. Suddenly everybody bike, swim, or run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was my bubble. When I was drinking, then everybody was drinking.
Yeah.
Dude, Friday, hey, Friday. You know, then Friday become Wednesday, and then Wednesday become Monday. And then suddenly everybody's drinking. When everybody else drugs, everybody's doing drugs. You know, when everybody's doing money, everybody's doing, like, talking about, real estate deals, like my bubble, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody. But if you get to health and you create, like what you guys create, community, then everybody, hey, I put this, I tweak my regime a little bit here. This is I this to my ritual. This is I this to my routine. And then suddenly you like, the voices and the noise around is like something you want to absorb.
Yeah.
So I think being part of community is because you see that's what you said. Number one, connection with yourself, connection with God. But then you connect with other people. They have same-minded people, and you just kind of like.
Because when you talk about same-minded people, this is why our community that we've built is not just keeping you accountable within the community, but now you also have a team of coaches around you, a team of experts. So you have a mental performance coach, you have a health coach, you have a functional medicine doc, and a recovery specialist, a sleep coach. All of that are working with you. 4 people speaking in, guiding you, helping you, holding you accountable every single day off of your data that they're looking at. So there's no hiding. It's no longer me saying, hey, Jarek, how are you doing? It's no, I can see how you're doing because your body's telling me, and we can have communication and conversation.
How do you guys measure it? By the Oura ring? How do you have a bracelet? Like the Neuros? Because I do the
Oura ring or Whoop band. And then all of that data comes to our team. They look at it 24/7. And it gets tied in with all of your other DNA, epigenetic, cellular testing, gut biome testing, that then we're custom compounding supplementation. We're creating plans based off all this. And they're talking to you daily off of every single thing that's going on. And when we talk about community, that's why we built this community of tip of the spear people, because it's very different signing the front of the check than it is the back of the check. And when you're signing the front of the check, there's different pressures, there's different lifestyles, there's different things that come with that. So we have a front of the check community that knows what it's like to run a business, knows what it's like to have a calling and a mission and a purpose. And we truly believe that you do not have to sacrifice your body for the pursuit of the mission that you're on, but rather when you actually steward the body, it amplifies and accelerates the mission.
If you ran into me 8 years ago, I have no idea what my purpose was. And I was like, and you were probably number one, we would not connect. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Because it's like, dude, Justin, I don't know what the I want to do. I'm 46, I'm 47. I don't know what I want to do. I'm miserable, brother. Like, I have anything you can imagine, but really, I really, how would you talk to me? Because anybody, because there's for sure like many guys or girls, men, women, listening to our podcast, and it's like, dude, I have no purpose.
It's such a great question because I have such compassion for those people. And the reason I have so much
I
compassion.
was one. Talk to me.
The reason I have so much compassion is because, like, even when I look into your eyes, like if I looked into your eyes and you were somebody who is struggling, somebody who is in a space of hardship, the biggest thing you have to know is that God has a purpose for you, even though you don't know what your purpose is. And what you're struggling with is a journey that he's having you go on so that you can become submitted and surrendered to what he's calling you to. And the moment you become surrendered and submitted, that's when he can amplify it. And I just want to help people get there faster. Everybody's willing in business to get a coach on finances, to get a coach on leadership, to get a coach on how do we grow what we have. But we often just give up we think that we should be able to figure out our own health, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally on our own because, it's my body, I should be able to know it. And there's so much information out there, I should just be able to disseminate it and put it all together. But it's not until you realize that if you actually put first things first, which is God, your health, and your family, and you're able to now integrate.
But let's say I don't believe in God, so because I disconnect. That's funny with you saying that.
Great.
This is what I disconnected from God because I blame God for all my misfortunes, even though I
So
had
good.
everything.
Awesome. So here's the thing.
So let's say I don't believe it. So
You
I
don't. You don't believe in God? I love that question.
you
I
know,
love that question.
I mean, seriously, I don't believe it.
That's-
and
and
it's
for-
like,
you know what,
or
let me
like
s-
when people want to stop drinking, like I go to AA, like they talk about, I don't want it. I don't believe in the system. I don't believe in God.
Sure. I think it's so beautiful because when, even though you may not believe in God, you have a heart and you have a soul. And when something is of the truth, your body knows the truth. You feel it viscerally. And so if I'm like just speaking to someone out there right now who doesn't believe in God, doesn't know why they're feeling a certain way and is struggling, and as Jarek and I have been having this conversation, I'm sure we've said something that you felt something. There was a visceral reaction. And what that was that's a God nudge. That's a signal that there's something deeper beyond the pain, beyond the hurt, beyond the struggle that you're currently going through. And so as you sit here and you listen to this, I love people who are unbelievers. I love people who are struggling. That's who I've been called to go after. Go after the lost, because when they see peace, freedom, abundance, clarity, fruit in somebody's life, we call that. When you see fruit,
Love.
when you see fruit in somebody's life, they're like, I don't know what that is, but I want it. And it's things that money can't buy. It's things that titles can't buy. It's beyond that. And it starts with a relationship with Jesus. And when we do that, it aligns everything else back together with how we live. This is why, I've got it tattooed. It's live different. It's the motto of Own It. What we're all about is when you live differently, you get different results. You feel different. And that's what we're after, is deep alignment with how we were created, so that once we know how we were created, we can step into something so powerfully. And the only thing that lives on the other side of obedience is blessing. Blessing of freedom, blessing of clarity, blessing of peace, blessing of joy, blessing of love. These are fruits of the Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control, faithfulness. These are all things that we are after and we are desiring. They are fruits of the Spirit. And so when you exude that, when you operate in that light, and you can be the light, I'm not going to smack you with a Bible and run you down and say, you have to do this, you have to believe this, you have to live this way, you have to go to bed at this time, you have to wake up at this time, you have to train this way, you have to do this. No. I'm going to meet you where you're at. And I'm going to show you the way of what it looks like to live differently, and watch all of a sudden those addictions fall off. Watch all of a sudden that weight you haven't been able to shed fall off. Watch the anxiety you had disappear. Watch the headaches you couldn't get away all of a sudden reverse. Watch this brain fog that hasn't been able to go away all of a sudden lift. Watch all of these things you've been struggling with, trying to get them put away through different tests and supplements and doctors and people and biohacks and all these things that are out there. Watch the moment you align everything the right way. Suddenly, everything you were after, stop, turn around, and chase after you, and knowing that healing is on the way. Your body was created to heal. It was created to thrive, but you have to live differently in order to get that.
Guys, you just got the best scenario of biohacking your soul, guys. If you did not get that, then if you're still here and you're listening, listen to this few times. That's the biohacking. That's really the bio, your soul, and to your spirit. And it's just like, it's like when you were talking, like there was a vibration inside my body. But now I know how my body reacts, so I know the feelings.
I love it.
And like even then, when you get the spark, like you plant the seed. Even when you walk in the room, you carry different energy.
For sure.
And you connect the people like completely different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Okay. So we are number 4. What is 5? We were 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh no, we've hit on everything.
Okay, so let's go through all 7 quickly.
Yep.
So
you start with
connection, number 1.
level of connection. From there, you've got heart rate variability.
Okay.
Sleep quality.
Yeah.
Right from sleep quality, you go to cellular deficiencies.
Yep.
VO2 max.
Okay.
And then you have your accountability.
There's a tribe, like a community.
No, so your accountability is like your coaches, your people who are pulling you forward. And lastly is your community, the community that is able to go on the journey with you and run with you. And when you are aligned in those 7, the completion, 7, the number of completion, you ultimately step into something that has a life that is different. And the results that you feel, everything you experience is true healing.
I always talk when I start connecting on a different level and I went through my journey and the person I become, I noticed that my body is healing truly like within. I think our body is the biggest, the smartest computer ever.
Oh, 1,000%.
And we can heal everything. And even the last thing for me, it was the fogness. It was the fogness. Like I couldn't kill the brain fogness. And that happened when I quit sugar. Like what the impact the sugar had on my body, it's been now over 2 years now, brother. But when the fogness was gone, the connection with God was better. Like, my connection with myself,
sure,
the sleep, like everything, and it's the hardest thing. Dude, when I go by like a coffee shop or like a pastry shop, brother, like I'm struggling. It's been like, for me, quitting alcohol is like quitting drugs or whatever, dude. This doesn't serve me. With sugar, with the smell, with the pastries, ooh. Like you put it like a almond croissant here. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you killing me, man?
That's your distraction,
dude.
That's your distraction. Those are the 7 Ds. That's the distraction. That's the distraction that kills your connection. And so that's your vice. I love it. This has been so good.
Yeah. So how do we like with your tribe? Like, how do you guys? You meet on a daily basis? How would you coaches? Like, how do you guys do it? Because you also work with people like one-on-one, right?
So that's the only way in which we operate is through one-on-one. So we believe what happens oftentimes is people come into a program and they rely on the entire virtual community to support one another, and there's no actual mentorship. And so we believe that transformation happens through relationship, not through technology. So for us, we're 100% virtual. We have over 50 team members all around Canada and the US. We have thousands of clients, all business owners, entrepreneurs, tip of the spear people throughout Canada and the US. And you are being mentored one-on-one with your core community of 4 coaches, guiding you, leading you, helping you shape what you're doing. And then we pair you in and amongst the community, getting involved in our community, that you now see, my gosh, there's thousands of people going for the same journey that I am, because you don't have time to connect with all of these people and to be able to facilitate it. No. We want you to know that you're doing life and designing life the way that so many other people are, because they've chosen to do something different. I want to talk about what I spoke about before, which is the concept of inevitability. When you pair intentional,
which, by the way, you still got to tell me the definition.
This is it. Intentional and consistent behaviors over the course of time, it creates inevitable results.
Yep.
But when you pair consistent and unintentional behaviors over the course of time, it also creates inevitable results. The difference of the inevitable results is one in which you fear and one in which you desire. And we help you go to the intentional results, or pardon me, the inevitable results that you desire, simply because we have a system and a rhythm that holds mentorship pulling you up and community to hold you tight.
Okay, I got a question. That's for me. So I know how to program my conscious mind, right? I mean, I've been working on it, like
Sure.
years. But then I believe that conscious mind is, I keep talking about, it's like 5%. 95% is my whole body, and
Sure.
it's unconscious, and it's programmed for years. And, I'm 53 years old right now. I have some tricks. I keep reprogramming my conscious mind, so my conscious mind go together, but I'm still struggling. How do I reprogram my unconscious mind? Because it's everything.
Yeah.
And by the way, am I wrong that,
No.
because conscious is conscious, like, hey, I know how to process, I know the logic, I know my, you know what I mean? I put everything, the knowledge and the wisdom.
Yeah.
Unconscious mind is still the little Jarek, or still something that happened. I'm not even know. My body's reaction. So what happened is when there's reaction in my body, let's say tingling or something, there's something going on. My conscious mind only know how to process it the way it knows. So I don't know how to practice the signals. It might be people, might be experience. How do I reprogram that? Because I just want to have my whole body alive. I know I'm bullshitting myself. We cannot be in the flow 100% of the time. But, we always want more.
Sure.
So
So there's a couple things. And this is why, again, you have a health coach, you have a mental performance coach, you have a functional doc, and you have a sleep and recovery coach. This is why you have these four, because what you're talking about is all what we do in mental performance, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is helping you understand and reprogram, in your words, conscious versus unconscious mind.
Yeah.
And so unconscious always goes back to certain things that have happened in your past. There's past traumas, there's past things you've experienced, there's past things you've gone through that, to no fault of your own, I have them too. But I'm going on a process and a journey to truly dive deep into them and have a spiritual healing experience where I'm able to tap into forgiveness, cutting soul ties, understanding, take me back to certain experiences that create visceral and actionable reactions within the body. And when we go back and we're able to actually start doing the work, this is not therapy of like, oh, let's talk about it and move through. No. This is this is getting deep into understanding moments, people, experiences, things that you've been through that you have to give forgiveness for and cut soul ties off, so that all of a sudden you don't have the same reactions as before. Suddenly you're completely disconnected from those thoughts and beliefs.
Not numb.
No.
Connect, not numb.
Like numbing is when the soul ties are still connected. We're going like for a clear cut where you no longer get triggered. You no longer get frustrated. You no longer get angry because you're no longer tied to that experience. And so we know that your beliefs shape your thoughts shape your actions shape your reality. And so if we can shape the beliefs differently, tied back to the connection of where they came from, that's where we have to have the healing start. And so that's the process we take thousands of people through in this journey, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Okay. This is for me. You see, guys, I do this shit for me. I love you guys, but I also do this for me. I love it. It's so funny that the last podcast, I got so much, guys, out of it. I love it. So you mentioned meditating, you mentioned praying, you mentioned breath work. What about psychedelic, like ayahuasca psychedelic? Like, where are you at on that?
I think it's a tool. But I think the problem with psychedelics and ayahuasca and a lot of these things is that people are looking for them as as an escape mechanism without actually going back to putting God first. So they're looking to have an experience that unlocks certain things where Christ can do that if you're willing to surrender and submit and put him in that place. And just nobody's been able to tap into that, which is, I think, what's so special about what we do. Because you no longer have to find it artificially. And artificial change doesn't yield transformation. It may give you a reprieve. It may give you some level of healing, but it hasn't healed you and transformed
But when
you.
you experience the connection, then you want to drive the connection because you cannot be on psychedelic all the time. But it's like when you felt like for me when I did
It's why
when
so
I
many
did
people
it
get
first time,
addicted.
oh, they are. Oh, I thought that psychedelic not addicted
Oh,
because
you
I've
start-
done it 3 times.
Yeah.
6 years ago, I was on a horrible journey. I was going through the divorce. I was horrible journey.
Yeah.
Then I did it again, and then last time I did it again. It's like well, I'm on a different journey, and it's like I find more connection, and it's. But I find it the same thing. I can do this on the ocean in the morning. Do you know what I mean?
Because now
I
you've-
found the shortcut. You know, I found the shortcut.
I wouldn't even say it's a shortcut.
I'm saying me. I'm just saying like my experience was. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking you, because when I felt it, because remember I was completely lost 6 years ago.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be honest with you, completely lost. So when I first time experienced, when I conscious, subconscious mind, they were full war.
Yeah.
I was throwing up. I was like, purging a lot and all this stuff. And then after a few hours, they went, rubbed their hands, as they just walked together. I was like, holy shit. This was my kind of like awakening.
See, I even think, even as we're talking, I think there's even more for you that you haven't even uncovered yet. And-
I know that, bro. Oh, what do you think you're sitting here for? Like, what do you think I'm doing this for? Are you kidding me?
and it comes into, and
I'm a baby.
oh yeah, and
Oh,
it
I'm
comes
a
into just a
baby.
deeper relationship with God, man. And as you find that, that's what your continual connection. It's going to be ayahuasca times 50, because the Holy Spirit is so palatable, bro, and it changes you. It leaves you different. It's something that you have access to every single breath. The breath is our connection to our Creator. And when you actually sit in this and you start to realize what this looks like and have an intention behind how you do things and intention to it, there's so much healing that happens. But this is why I'm saying you can't go at it alone, and you have to have this facilitated. And I see miracles every single day in our business, in our company, with people we work with. Every single day there's things, cancer reversing, diabetes changing, autoimmune disorder disappearing, mental health restoring, like all of these things. Why? Because we put the order back in, which is divine, which is God at the center. And when you can truly connect to that, that's what creates the healing, and that's what creates the change.
Love it, brother.
Yeah.
Guys, listen to this. Justin, tell everybody where to find you, how to find you. Mostly, if you like it, you know what to do. Subscribe, forward to somebody else. Justin, where people can find you.
Yeah, if you want to know more, you can go to ownitcoaching.com. Ownitcoaching.com is where you can find everything about us, what we do. And then on social media, if you're interested in connecting, at Justin, ROETH.
Dude, love it, man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, I'm still like, guys, I'm like in the flow, dude. I was like, holy shit. That's why I love to do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously, like, we have like amazing people that is like unbelievable. Seriously.
This is beautiful. I appreciate
But dude, you
for
were
having me.
really like, when you were like, it was, and I knew it at the table immediately. Like, you're gonna just, I love to hear my own journey, how I experienced it and all this stuff, but in somebody else's words and different journey, how you, because everybody describes it differently. But
Yeah.
like you were talking, and I was like, holy shit. It's like, please, people get it. Like, whoever listening, just get it,
Yeah.
get it, get it. And sometimes, like with me, even like I have to hear so many times.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like there's a bell ringing. I don't know which freaking church is ringing. There's somewhere there's like, it's like, but at least like having the awareness.
And I think that's where it comes back to, which is why I'm just very bullish on what we do. And I'm not afraid to say, I want people to, like, I want you to come and see what life looks like after coming through Own It. Come and see what it feels like after operating through what we've done, is because it is so different, and people change, people transform, and transformation can only happen when you go on a journey. And so many people just want to sit on the sideline and take in information and think, oh, now I'll go and do it and be different. No, there's no transformation. There's no heart posture change. There's no difference in how you're acting, behaving, and ultimately the rhythms in your life. And so how can there be any real change? But when you've had an encounter and an experience, there's always evidence of change in your life. And the encounter and the experience with God at the center with people helping to facilitate it. Because that's often how God works. He throws people into your life. He throws opportunities into your life that if you say yes and are surrendered and submitted, he's going to give an encounter and an experience that's going to yield to evidence of change.
So we're raising the awareness, we're raising the consciousness level, the consciousness, like, so you know what is good, what is not, so you know which person to bury it and which person to keep, like what serves you, what doesn't serve you.
Yeah.
And actually understanding and going with the flow. And it's like, you know, like every morning before I even open my eyes, like this is like, you know, oh, okay, I'm awake, like I'm awaking, right? Like, and I'm like, okay, God, thank you that I woke up and just going through the prayer. And it's like, I can feel my whole body.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I lay in the bed, like I feel the weight of the bed. Like I'm kind of going through the process, how my blood flows and everything else. And it just understanding that we truly create everything starting with ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's just bringing
I'll change the language because we don't create anything. He creates everything through us.
He create, yeah. And just having the understanding and truly, like, I want people to feel the flow in love versus the hate, versus the comparison, versus the quick wanting something. It's like, it's a journey that will never ever ends.
Yeah.
It's a, you know, infinite game, and it will never ever end. But yet you want to be on it. You want to be on the boat. Just show me the boat. Let me, you know, you have a permission, and there's no judging.
Sure.
You know, even if I up, it's like, dude, like, okay. I mean,
even if it's not right, he can use it.
You know what I mean?
Just remember that. I love it. So good. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you for listening. Leave your comments and subscribe for more insights on mastering the inner and outer wealth.